Hey all, Chris Bassett here, and this is my guide for Final Fantasy XI, the level 70 limit break Maat fight. I'll be playing on the HorizonXI server as my BlackMage. Let's get into it. So I'm over at the auction house. I've got a couple of gear and spell recommendations before you start the fight. If this is your first Maat fight, you're capped at level 70. You'll want to pick up the Fire Auga 3, which will be your strongest fire spell, as well as Flare. Flare's a good high damage magic spell, long cast time, but it deals a ton of damage. I'm also making recommendations where you don't have to spend a ton of gil, so these spells and pieces of equipment are relatively cheap. You should also grab a fire staff to increase the potency and accuracy of your fire spells, and then a dark staff to increase your sleep potency and stun accuracy. Elemental torque will help with spell resistance, as well as use your artifact BlackMage hands. The black cloak body armor can be helpful. It has refresh and elemental magic skill +8. Only thing left is to stack as much intelligence as possible into all your gear. Don't forget about food and medicine. Another huge recommendation is to fight him on Fire's Day. Since we'll be using fire spells, it will help increase potency and reduce resistances. Also, go ahead and double check, make sure your 2-hour ability mana font is ready to go. It'll make things go a lot smoother. Go ahead and zone into Relude Gardens and get ready to beat up an old man. You will need a BlackMage testimony, so stick around to the end of the video. I'll show you how to solo farm that. There's a couple of good locations. But if you have your testimony ready, just go ahead and trade it to the old man, and if this is your first fight, he'll teleport you directly to the Burning Circle fight. If it's not your first fight, you're going to go ahead and have to run all the way to Horless Peak. It's through West Ronfair, and then you run all the way to the top through Fort Gelshpa. So I am fighting him on my 74 BlackMage. This is my second job, so it'll be a little bit easier, but the strategy will stay the same. I'm going to go ahead and trade my BlackMage testimony to the Burning Circle and then enter the fight. I have heard that if you enter the fight without any armor or, completely naked, it's supposed to make the fight easier because Maat basically copies your gear as you enter. But in the couple of fights I've done, I haven't really experienced, that extreme difficulty that you need to do that. But that's one option. If you're having trouble, take all your gear off, and then as soon as you enter, then put it all back on. Also, you won't have access to your sub-job, so just keep that in mind. So as you approach the edge of the Burning Circle, right about here, you want to target Maat, and what we're going to do is we're going to flare, elemental seal, and then sleep. So get right in range, target him with flare, start casting flare. It takes like 300 and something magic points. As soon as you hit him with flare, then use your elemental seal and then put him to sleep. Flare also has a long cast time, roughly 20 seconds. So just keep that in mind as you're, doing your rotations. Okay, flare connects. I'm going to elemental seal, put him to sleep. Keep an eye on the log. You can see Maat starts casting Water G3. You could also throw a stun in there if you need to. But what we're going to do is we're going to rest, and I'm just going to wait on the cooldown for flare. So I'm looking at the timer, and it roughly has, how much time left? 30 seconds, 20 seconds. And so just wait on that cooldown. When that gets to 0, I'm going to mana font, so I have unlimited magic points for a minute. And then you're going to flare again. And then if you need to, right after that flare connects, shoot a stun so it stops him, and then use Fire Auga 3. And that should be enough. If you stacked enough intelligence points, I'm a higher level, so 2 flares is enough to kill him. But just keep in mind, this is the rotation. Flare, elemental seal, sleep, rest, mana font, flare, stun, Fire Auga 3. If everything goes to plan, congratulations, you beat Maat. You can go ahead and progress to level 75 or one more tally to your Maat's cap. Alright, so let me go over a couple of places where you can solo farm your BlackMage testimonies. So looking on the map in the lower left-hand region, the Kuzats, head over to Western Altepa Desert. I found this location the easiest because there's a zone right near where you'll be fighting the BlackMage, so if you get a link or you look like you're going to die, you can just zone out. So head on the map all the way down to the corner here, take it over to the left, and there's like a little hidden path that you walk back and behind and zig and zag. I kind of used my finger to help, so maybe that helps or not. But once you zone in, the BlackMage monsters are basically just down and to the right. They are the Ancurian Quasar or something like that. So they drop stone spells. So if you're looking to farm like Stone 4 or Stone G3, They also can drop that, but it's like a 1 or 2% chance. They aggro to sneak, so go ahead and use your sneak ability and then head on down. It may be worth noting that there's like usually a paladin ant that is right by the entrance, so if you want to kill that first just to get that out of the way. But then I would pull them back to this area right here, like this corner I'm at now. Pull them back there, fight there. You usually won't get any links. A link is like when the other monsters like group up. If you're fighting one of the same kind, they group up and fight together. But I'm just going to buff up, so I would recommend that you come as BlackMage/Red Mage. As a Red Mage sub, you can use Phalanx, which increases your defense incredibly, as well as Stone Skin Blank. You also have access to gravity. But what you're going to do is you're going to target the one that has the Q. It's like Antikin Quasar or something. And so that's those are the Black Mage job types. And so you pull with Silence. There it is, Quasar. I really can't speak today. So you find, you can also check them, check the level. See, this one's a level 66, so he'd probably be better to fight. I think the other one is a level 70. So that can make a big difference. But you pull with Silence, and then just rotate between your biggest, highest damage spell and then sleep. So you like, mine's Fire 4. So like Fire 4, then put it to sleep, and alternate that back and forth until they die. I think the drop is like 7 or 8% on the testimony. The other location with lower level monsters would be Castle Ostrosia. There you can also farm, Arrow 4 and Araga 3 while you're up there. It's at the top of the castle. It is a little bit trickier because you're fighting the Yaguado, and they kind of tend to be close together. They lump together, and it's farmed quite a bit. So if one of the other locations is busy, try the opposite location. So real quick, how to get to the top. Come over to the first brass door and use the lever trick. I usually just kind of tap the lever and then try to run off the path, because if it's the wrong lever, you drop down below. So you got to position yourself right. And okay, so it was the left lever this time. You can walk through the door, but I'll just show you what it looks like if the trap door activates. All right, you're clicking the lever. Come on, we can do it. I'm a little slow today. So you got to stand in the right spot. There you go. So as the trapdoor activates, you fall down to the basement, and you just got to work your way back up top. But so go ahead and go through this first brass door, and then the second level, there's switches. So you can come over to this path on this side, and it'll show you the positions of the levers. Then you go ahead and run back to where the door is actually at and punch in that combination. Keep in mind it changes daily, in-game days. So if it's like, today is what, Light's Day? So by Dark's Day, it'll be a different password. So you kind of got to hustle. So I'm just looking at the configuration of the levers. I think it's up, down, up, down. So I know that, when I get to the second one, I got to flip the levers in that order, up, down, up, down. So here I am at the second brass door, and the levers are on the right-hand side. So I'm just going to punch in the code. You can highlight each lever and then, move it up or down, and there we go. It's in position, so it should click, and then the door unlocks. Now you can make it to the top floor. Just go ahead and follow it around to the left and all the way to the top. All Yaguado aggro to sight, so make sure you're using invisible. And then you want to check the levels of the monsters. They should be in the mid to upper 60s. Then you'll know you're in the correct spot. So the Yaguado Prelate is the Black Mage job type. He drops the spells as well as the Black Mage testimony. So you want to fight them. If you can, try to pull them to an area that doesn't have other monsters around, or bring a friend or two. But I'd pull it back to like here is probably the safest spot, or up by that door, but there's kind of a ninja that tends to spawn around there. So fight the Yaguado Prelate just like you did with the other ones, where you silence them and then, use your biggest spell, Fire Aga 3 or whatever, and then sleep, and just alternate until they're dead. It's roughly a 10% drop as well. Also, don't forget you can Asper any of the magical monsters to get your MP back. It really helps. I was Aspering for like 100 MP each time, and then draining for like 200. So that just helps with the fight. Check out another video over here. I've got an Amazon affiliate link for discount electronics in the description. Go ahead and use that link, no extra cost, and you can help out support the channel. I really appreciate it. Any other questions or comments, put below. Thanks.